the family Garfinkel, me, Rabbi Garfinkel, my wife, Florence, Friedel, and our daughter Rivki took our first trip to Israel. And here we are in our rented apartment at Choiv Gida Mispa 1, sitting on the porch looking out. What do we see here? Far, we see. Far, we saw the Plaza Hotel going by. Here, this is buildings from Yerushalayim. We also see from far the old city and the Kosel Amarovi and all the cities of Yerushalayim, all the buildings in Yerushalayim. And while we're sitting here, here is our daughter Rivka.
Okay,
My wife, Blanche.
I'm on the porch together with my daughter Rivka, holding a cup of coffee as usual. Have a cup with me. It's delicious. It's Israeli coffee. Oh, no, it's not Israeli coffee. I forgot. We brought it from America. Now we're sitting in front of my husband's brother's house in Tel Aviv, and this is his wife Goldie, who incidentally is an excellent cook, and I think if she ever would come to visit me, I would have her cook in my house. She's great. This is her daughter-in-law, who is showing off her new ring, and pretty soon she'll be having a baby. And incidentally, she did end up having a little boy, Mazel Tov. I'm talking now to Hanan and to his son-in-law and to his son. And I really don't remember what I said, but they were listening, so it must have been something interesting. Their apartment is very small, but their hearts are very big. They wanted us to sleep over, but we couldn't see taking away their bedroom. But we came to visit them often.
Here we had our first visit by the Kosel Amarovi. It was on a Friday, Erev Shabbos, Parshas Matos, and it was very hot. The sun was strongly hot. The women were all in preparing for Shabbos. Here's my wife coming back after she said Tefillah by the Kosel Amarovi. She's coming in front of us. We're in a hurry to go home because Shabbos is coming in. Here's my husband.
Oh, there's my husband with cousin Danny Skase, who incidentally is an American, and he went to settle in Israel with his wife and his 2 children, and he was really very gracious to us. They just finished davening mincha, and they came out of that building. Now, this is my daughter Rivki together with me, and we're just talking about how great it was by the Kosel, and how wonderful that we Jews are able to go there without being harassed. May it be forever after. We had a wonderful experience by the Kosel.
Here we've taken our first trip to see the Mekomos HaKadoshim, the holy places, besides after the Kosel Amarovi, naturally. Here we're on the bus, tour bus from Egit, going towards Beis Lechem first to see the cable of Rochel Imenu. And here is the scenery that we see here, the mountains of Yehuda going by. We're sitting in the bus, and the tour is explaining to us the history. And here we see the building of Keber Rochel Imenu.
From the distance, I saw an Arab woman walking, and I wanted to take a picture with her, but I somehow didn't think she would like the idea so much. There's an Arab bus, incidentally, so I pretended I was just walking so she should get in the picture, too. Why I wanted her in the picture, I don't know. We can do without the Arabs. Anyway, there's, of course, Avram walking. He looks like a tourist because he is one, and we're going back to our bus. Interesting to note, there was a film being made professionally by people who were depicting tourists in Israel, and he's directing people how to stand and how to walk and what to say. We are now riding along the bus. Avram, where are we going to now?
Now to the Kvorim of the office, Avraham Yitzchak Yankov, to the Mioras Amachpelah.
Going with tourists is not such a good idea. If anybody ever wants to go to Israel, take your own trips. They rush you through. There's no time to say the proper prayers. They're continuously talking about what you're looking at, and we know what we're looking at. And while we're there, we want to say the proper words and the proper prayers with the proper kavanah, but they rush you through. So going with a tour is not a great idea. But of course, when you're new there, you don't know what to do. You go with the tour. Med Hashem, our next time around, we'll know how to go. We'll go by ourselves and do the proper things and take our own little car or bus and take our time and enjoy. Oh, this is a very interesting thing, what happens here. First of all, we'll tell you where we are.
We are now in front of the Mioras HaMachpelah, where the rest our office Avrom, Yitzchak, Yankov, and the Moas Rivki Rachel Valea.
We're coming out now, and interesting to note, when you go someplace, they look through your bags, and I wanted pictures to be taken, so I went over to him after I walked out, and I asked him. He thought it was real funny and cute. I wonder what he thinks about Americans. But he checked my bag going out. They check it to see that there's no bombs or any guns going in because of all the trouble that's been going on in Israel, unfortunately. And here we are coming out, and...
this is the front. This is the view of the whole city of Chevron. The old city of Chevron, which used to be all Jewish, now is all Arabic. We hope that soon we'll live to see we're coming back a Jewish city.
Well, you say this, and I say soon, Mi'at Hashem, we should go live in Israel, Avram, where all Jews belong.
Right, let's hope Mi'at Hashem shortly. Either Mashiach should come, we should all go and live in Israel.
Now, we're walking down the steps of the Moras HaMachpelah, and it's a beautiful building, and made very well. Of course, it's very ancient and very old, made of stone, and we are leaving now, and you see all the greenery which is there, which was... We were not allowed to take pictures from inside. And here I am again, gravitating towards the Israeli soldier in Beis Lechem. He's showing me how the gun works. There were bullets in them. He even let me hold the gun. And my daughter Rivki wanted him to go back with us, but I guess he had a family back home. Oh, this is very interesting. We are now in Geula, and standing and talking to my husband is a wonderful gentleman. May he live to be 120, Chaim Zevrada, who lived in Brownsville with us when we first married some 30 years ago, and he was the mole of my children. He is also a butcher, so besides being a mole, he was also cutting up chicken and meat. He's a darling man. These are the children who lived in the vicinity. They are quite Orthodox. They are Hasidic children, and some of them wouldn't told me in Jewish as the mama les minishnem in pictures, which I could understand. This is their way, but primarily they were very friendly children. Chaim Zev lives by himself, and he cooks, and he has one little room or two rooms in a kitchen. And from time to time, his grandchildren from America come to visit him. He's a lovely, friendly, hospitable man. He didn't know what to do for us. He is here talking seriously to my husband, and he is a lovely man, telling him all about Jerusalem, which we were very happy to hear. We told him we would try to get back to him. Our next visit will be a little longer, Mi'at Hashem. There's a little girl whose mother said she could take pictures with us, and she's enjoying the playground with me. I'm a kindergarten teacher, and when I see a child, I don't know what to do with that child. And unfortunately, only one kid wanted to go into that picture, and 6 were standing around watching because they were kind of embarrassed. And it was a lovely afternoon. Israel is the place to be.
Here we are now in the center and the heart of Yerushalayim. I am walking now in front of the very famous Eichal Shlomo, the big center where this is the sitting place of the Rabbanut HaRashut from Eretz Yisrael, Rabbi Goren, Rabbi Vadior Yosef, and here is also a big shul where there's a steady chazan, a choir davening, and all the tourists come there. It's an attraction for all the tourists. There's also a big museum on the top over, and a lot to see and to watch. And the architecture is marvelous. They're erecting a new, very beautiful and big shul, which will be ready shortly. Mi'at Hashem, it will be a gathering place for all the Jews of Eretz Yisrael. My wife is taking the picture. She's on the other side.
I'm standing now in front of the Plaza Hotel, and naturally, what do you do in Israel but walk? And all we did was walk and see and enjoy. A friend of ours stayed at this hotel for a few days, and the elevator broke down, and he had to walk down about, a lot of flights. He was on the top floor, and it's a kosher hotel. The elevator broke down, and it was a Shabbos elevator, but something happened to the elevator, and he could not go into it. He had a harrowing experience, and he said to us, Florence and Avram, the next time we go to Israel, we'll go the way you do. We'll rent an apartment and live like Israelis. We went shopping every day. This is a beautiful apartment house next door. This is also the courtyard of the Plaza Hotel, and the Plaza Hotel is beautiful, but thank the dear Lord that Avram and I are in accord, and we rented this apartment, and we felt we lived as Israelis lived for a short while.
Here we're going on a trip to Masada. On the way, we stop with the bus to see the many historical places from 2,000 years ago where a lot of the Hasidim were hiding because of the Romans or the Greeks, and they were trying to hide and observe the whole Torah. Here they were living in the caves, and this is the place where there was found the Megillas, the famous Megillas, Dead Sea Scrolls from the Yam HaMelech, that were hidden there from 2,000 years ago, and they were found there. And this is the guy that telling the group of the tourists here where the people used to live there, and where their mikvahs and their shuls, and where the Megillas were actually found. Soon we will see the actual place where it was digged out from the caves, beneath these mountains. This is on the way to the Dead Sea. It's lower than the sea level. It's very hot. As you could see, everybody was told to cover their heads because the sun is burning hot.
It's funny, everyone was told by the bus driver to cover his head, and he was the only one who went with an uncovered head. And I, taking the prerogative of a Jewish mother, went over to him and said, "Okay, fella, now you cover your head." He laughed, but he covered his head. Anyway, it was really very hot. What did we just now see? What was that sign?
It was Cameron. This is called Cameron, where the Megillas were actually found. As you look, and this hall, really, this window exactly across is the place where they found the Dead Sea Scrolls. Here it is. Very historical place. And here we go to Kfar Etzion.
We are going now to Kfar Etzion.
So it's like it's like middle of the desert.
This is in the middle of the desert, an oasis. It was really very hot, and here we see some people cooling off in the freshwater waterfall. It was a sight to behold. I had to stand on a very high rock in order to take this picture. It was quite treacherous, but it was worth it. Now we are going to Masada, and we are waiting to take the tram that would take us. We were already up. No, we were already...
No,
we're going down now, aren't we?
We're watching going down. But
we're watching going down, but we were waiting to go up.
We are going up.
We are now up, and this is what we are seeing.
Yeah, we are in Masada. This is the place, the stronghold where the Jewish fighters were fighting the Romans, and were all gone after the Beis Hamikdash was already destroyed, destructed. And there were about 2,000 people, men, women, and children, living there and fighting the Romans. And finally, when they had no food, they all died here, but did not surrender to the Romans. And whenever a Israeli general is supposed to take his oath to be loyal to the government, they were brought here to take their oath over there and Masada. Here on way back from Masada, we're going by Lud. This is the old section of Lud.
Unfortunately, in Israel, there are some slums, but they are our slums, and they are our people, so you don't feel too badly because it's Israeli holy land.
Okay.
But we hope someday that the lands will be fixed up completely and there will be no slums. Avram would like to explain to you what's happening now and who that nice gentleman is with him.
He's a gentleman that is 50 years already in Yerushalayim, that knows every stone in Jerusalem. He could tell you the whole history from the last 100 years in Yerushalayim and also from before. And he's telling us, he's married to a cousin of ours, Chanche, and his name is Chaim Tzfoni. He was a worker for the Mizrahi. He was also the secretary for many years of the Rabbanut Arashut.
He's a lot of fun and nice to go with. I wish we would have discovered him at the very beginning. We would have gone all over with him. We have a standing joke. He sometimes walks with a cane, and as you can see, he's a little bit older than we are. And I really got a little tired before he did, and so did my husband. And whenever we sat down, he made a joke. And now he is showing us the Hadassah Hospital. He's taking us inside, and we were lucky enough to come at a time when there was a bris. Of a very important member of cabinet, and we took a lot of pictures. Here I am on a motorcycle. You know, of course I don't ride a motorcycle, but I enjoy sitting on one. This is a sign that says, I think, Maternity Pavilion, and the reason we took the sign is because my daughter-in-law and my son, Aaronet and Yehuda, were expecting a baby in a short time, and they incidentally did have a girl. And here's Chassidim walking towards their bus. The scenery is beautiful.
As you see in front of you, this is the building called Yad Harav Herzog. Here we're coming to Yad Vashem, the famous Yad Vashem. We cannot take pictures from the inside, but from the outside.